Hello, dear all, and welcome to our English Without Borders Thursday webinar series. We are so glad you are joining us today to explore the world of English together. And let me introduce you our best speakers of the today's webinar, Mavluda Zulfova and Donista Solijonova, who are going to talk about the topic creating engaging learning spaces, inclusive and interactive techniques for English language teachers for ELT classroom. Mavluda Zulfova has over 20 years of experience in teaching, and she is recipient of different national and international awards and certificates. She holds the AUCA MAT Master of Arts in Teaching. And currently, Mavluda Zulfova is an English instructor at the School of Professional and Continuing Education at University of Central Asia. And Donista Solijonova has over 19 years of teaching experience. She graduated from Horrocks State University in 2007 and during her studies visited the USA through the global UGA Art program majoring in education. Donista successfully received her CELTA certificate in August 2021 and completed the Leadership Management Certificate program of TESOL online course. And currently, Donista Solijonova is an English instructor at the School of Professional and Continuing Education of the University of Central Asia. So thank you so much, dear all, for joining today's webinar, and please be active and ask your question. And dear speakers, now the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's indeed great to see you all, and we're happy that we are with English Without Borders again. Me and Mavluda, my colleague, are going to present you about to talk about creating engaging learning spaces. And you can see, hopefully, my slides. I hope they are visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, then let's start. And in today's presentation, we're going to talk about what is inclusive education, why is it important, and we will try to introduce you with one strategy that works really well, in particular in a language classroom, and then we will try to have Q&A with our audience by the end of our today's session. Well, typically, since we have access to chat and all that stuff, I would kindly like my all the participants to chat their answers, to write, their answers in the chat box. What is inclusive education? Since I believe this term is not new for everyone. So could you please write your answers in the chat box? Let's see what we know so far about inclusion and about inclusive education in general. So please type your answers in the chat box. Okay, some answers are already coming up. And yeah, thank you, Zarina. Education for special needs students, yes. Inclusion is part of it, good. Any other ideas? Yes, this is indeed a good answer. Education without barriers for different learners, absolutely. Yes, Bakhta Begum is right in creating an environment for all students, regardless of their backgrounds and abilities, absolutely. Yes, right. Any other ideas? Yes, a space where everyone can learn and benefit. Okay, well, thank you very much. It's good to see that most of you are very well familiar with what is inclusive education. And let's dive deeper inside and see um, what we can learn more about it and what it is. All right, so yes, most of you have already, some of you have mentioned these ideas. Inclusive education, it includes all students despite their ability, both physical or mental conditions. It includes all students studying together. Um, Many people believe that inclusive education is only for those who are with special needs, but it does not only cover those with physical disabilities, but it is for all students who have equal opportunities to study in mainstream schools. And it welcomes and supports every learner within its learning communities, as well as providing appropriate conditions for all, which means that both the teaching, the curriculum, as well as school buildings themselves, classrooms, play areas, transport and toilets must be appropriate for all children and all levels, since it welcomes diversity and as well as creating sense of belongings, meaning that all students, despite both their mental abilities and their physical abilities, belong to one space where they can create a learning atmosphere, no matter if the student is able or disabled physically, in good condition or physical condition, or has some hearing impairment or has some eyesight problems. Inclusive education provides an opportunity for every learner to benefit from. And what's I believe most important thing to know and to understand is the importance of inclusive education for both, not only for those learners who have some physical difficult, or let's say physical conditions, um, but also for those who are physically healthy and mentally healthy. Both learners, they do benefit from inclusive education, and the important thing is that first it improves learning outcomes for all. Research has shown so far that those students who are physically disabled, in many cases they perform academically better compared to their peers who are, physically in total good conditions, as well as as mentally. And the good thing for those who are physically fine, studying with those who have, some physical disabilities, is that they will become better at decision making and at problem solving activities, since it also promotes understanding, and it reduces prejudice. Understanding of what? Of typical stereotype that those students who have some physical disabilities should not study in mainstream schools. It will break those stereotypes, because those who will study with them, with and without, they will try to collaborate with those students with physical disabilities. They will try to work with them more in different projects, and of course learn different things from each other. It also allows children of both, let's say, ables and disables with in good physical condition and with some physical disabilities, to enhance their social skills and belongings. They will both become, they will develop those crucial social skills that will give both of them a sense of belonging to the same one society and community. And students are not going to stay and to remain in schools forever, but they are going to finish it one day and to face the reality of life. That's why inclusive education is really good way and technique to prepare them for a diverse community, which later in their life will also help them to work with different of varied backgrounds, with people of varied backgrounds, as well as facing and collaborating with them in the workforces. Um, Another good thing overall about physical inclusive education is that it strengthens school communities within school walls and classroom settings as well, because the students who are studying there together with those with physical disabilities, they will better start supporting them, collaborating with them, building friendships with them, and together with this approach and with this way of education, the school will thrive for better as well. And finally, every member of the society has to be given the privilege and favor to have a chance and study in the classroom in a typical environment where they will feel safe, they will feel fine, and they will be okay, and they will not be feeling isolated or feeling that they have that they are different from others, but they need to feel that um, uh, feeling of being accepted by the society as normal individuals despite their physical ability or some hearing impairment or eyesight problems or whatever. And it's vital for us as educators to think about the strategies to develop within our classroom community so that we create that zone of comfort for all our learners. And as language teachers, we are thinking about our strategies, how to make the students who are in our classrooms, their life easier. And today we cannot present you all the strategies that AI tools and everything have actually are offering us a lot, but we will share with you the strategy that we have used in our classrooms, and it is quite useful in an ELT classroom setting. So I'm going to give the floor to Mavluda now, my colleague. She will introduce you with one strategy that you have already seen, Tea Party, and she will share more about it. So, Mavluda, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
I think, can you hear me? Yes. I think, yes, I do support.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, thank you so much. I do support whatever Donista said. Yeah, it's really a key topic in the world now, and a lot of, and I would like to say that this is actually a lot of teachers are trying to implement strategies like Tea Party in their classes, and it's not only like, but there are, again, I want to mention that there are lots of challenges teachers face because of lack of experience, and it is not only a challenge in our country, but the world community is trying to come with some interesting ideas and strategies to implement in their classes. So one of these strategy that we implemented in a conference together with Donista, it's a tea party, and I think this kind of strategy will help. It's not, as Donista mentioned, this is not the only strategy, but the one that we used in the conference. We just want to focus more on this strategy that we also implemented in our classes. So the name Tea Party was, it was, the strategy and the name was it was actually implemented by an elementary school teacher, and the idea was that the students will feel themselves like in a party, and they can stand up, they can mingle, create discussion, talk to each other, and also for in order to make it sound better or just similar to a tea party, you can also, as a teacher, play music, any like slow music, and students just walk they can meet each other, go to different students, show their vocabulary phrases, and they can create discussion, they connect it to their life, they can ask questions, and try to predict the topic of these phrases and words, try to predict the topic of their text. So in order to, first of all, this is pre-reading activity that, for example, the teacher selects a text, and then from there are lots of course, whenever we select a text, we have new words, phrases, or some, and the teacher can create some index cards based on the words and phrases that he or she has in their text, and then give these phrases to different students. Sometimes you can copy maybe one and the same word 2 times, so that the students will have both the same word. They can maybe different people can share different opinion about it and can connect it differently to themselves or to something else. And this kind of things help them understand or remember the vocabulary better. And this while before giving the text, when we introduce students with the new vocabulary, that helps them better remember, or it just prepare them, engage them in a new topic. And by this way, the teacher, even like before giving the text, we just give the vocabulary, and it helps them to learn the new words better. And when the teacher gives the text, they have already familiar with the new words, and they won't have any challenge. They won't have. I can't say that they won't have any challenges, but they will have less, for example, challenges because they know most of the words, and it will be easy for them to understand the meaning, and they are more confident to work with other people. And then when the students finish, for example, for about 10 or 12 minutes, they can mingle, have a discussion, and after 10 or 12 minutes, the teacher can stop the activity and ask everyone to take their seats. As a teacher, you can ask the students to work individually, or you can assign students to different groups, and then they can write I statements or we think statements, where students can talk about, for example, based on the vocabulary and phrases that they had, they can start predicting what the topic of their text can be or going to be about. And they can share different ideas. And finally, when they finish, the teacher can display or give them text, a hard copy of the text, so that they can see to what extent they were able to predict the content of the topic. And I think that will be engaging, interesting, and that can help them to learn better and understand the material and be more confident. And of course, it's again because there are students with various learning needs in your class, and you can just use some kind of strategy like this to help them learn and be more confident. Next slide, Donista, please. We can also prepare together with Donista. We prepared a short text here. As you see, we have here a title, differentiation. This is really a good technique, and this is one of the techniques. And we cannot say that the only, but when you take the text, you can use some different. You can use different things with this text. For example, if you have a student who has poor vision, you can, for example, in our cases, in our school, we have this kind of school cases when students come and they have poor vision. We usually try to make a separate copy for that student, and we enlarge the text of for example, the font, the size. We can make it bigger so that the students can feel himself or herself comfortable to read. Sometimes, for example, if a person is a strong student, we can give them a longer text, and if we see that the student is struggling, for example, you can reduce or shorten the text so that it will be a shorter text for the students who is struggling, but you can keep like the main idea of the content. And there are also cases when you have a student who is dyslexic, yeah? And in order not to feel stressed with the reading, together with Donista, we created, this is a random text that we created with the help of AI, and we created a separate audio for this text, so that if, for example, you have a student maybe who has a poor vision or who is dyslexic, you can just read to the text. You can give like mobile phone, earphones to that student, and then they can listen on their home without having any challenges. And I can ask here Donista, or we can ask Zuro to play the sound. So that, just an example, so that the other students can see and create the same things in their class. Like just maybe 2 or 3 lines, you can just listen, not the whole text, of course.
The Great Sandwich Escape. One sunny afternoon, in a cozy little kitchen, something amazing happened. A sandwich came to life. Yes, you heard that right. 2 slices of bread, peanut butter, jelly, and a slice of banana suddenly wiggled, jiggled, and jumped right off the plate. I'm tired of being lunch, the sandwich shouted. I want an adventure. It ran across the counter, slid down a spoon like a slide, and landed on the floor with a splat. The family's cat, Mr. Whiskers, saw the sandwich and chased after it, thinking it was a new toy. Ah! A furry monster, yelled the sandwich as it raced under the table and out the kitchen door. Outside,
I
the
think
sandwich
that's
came
enough,
past a group
Zuro.
of
Yeah,
ants.
I think this. Thank you. This was just a short example on how you can do the same thing in your class. You can create an audio. I think nowadays you have lots of opportunity to do it online. In our case, we used MediaGet, and I also, when we went online, you can just write, for example, speech to text, and you can find some free app where you can do it for free. And of course, you can see here that we highlighted here some with the yellow color, some vocabulary. And for example, the one that we thought that maybe is new for our student. And based on the highlighted words, you can create yourself index cards and distribute it to students in class, and they can just walk and discuss, and they will try to predict the text. I think that will be that would be interesting for students, and I think that will help students with various learning needs to be engaged in the activity. And next slide. Okay, thank you so much, Donista. And here we also decided to create index cards ourselves, because we talked about the activity, how can you implement it in your class. And now we also created, again, we use AI again to create a text. And now we will try to see, for example, how it works. Can you please look at the new words on the screen, and in the chart, please write down based on the vocabulary that you can see. Try to guess or try to predict what the topic is going to be in the text that we are going to show you, but after, when you make a prediction, of course. Can you please write in the chart or about, what do you think the topic can be about? Okay, yes. I used, yes, Fernanda, I use here Canva, and I simply wrote when I went to Google, at the end of my slide, I have it, I used Speechify, but the first time I used it worked, but the next time when I tried to access it, it asked like for Speechify, it asked for money, but I used one more. It's I just wrote the speech to text free, and I had I used one that said that you can do it on Canva. So I created the second text with the help of Canva. Okay, the topic is, Bhakti Begim says it's about wild animals, a visit to the zoo. Okay, thank you. What else? We have here Carrot, Tina. We have, good. Okay, the boy visit the zoo. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Very nice ideas. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what else? Please be active. Yeah, children go, yes. Okay, majority people think, yeah, it's about a visit to the zoo. Okay, it's an Indian trip. Great, yes. What a boy, yes, Mary, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, everything is possible, yes. Great, you are very close. Great. Okay, about the giant zoo. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Teaching adjectives. Okay, yes, yes, maybe. Thank you so much. Really great idea. Okay. Thank you so much. Everyone shared really nice ideas. Yes, it is about summer trip. Yes, maybe it can be a summer trip. A story happened in the private Royal Natural Park. Okay, great. Okay, very creative ideas. Thank you. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, let me now share the story. And again, yes, thank you so much, Donista. Yeah, let us share the story that we again created with the help of AI, and we created again a sound for it separately. Let's listen to the story. For which we created again separately a sound. Yeah, please, Zuru, can you share the sound as well? No, just click it the second time. Click and that's.
I'm trying, but it doesn't work. What?
Can you click on the slide? Don't click on this on the same slide.
Oi.
The second time it plays. Click anywhere and it will start playing on the slide.
I
It doesn't play.
Yeah, for some reason it moves to the next slide when I click on it.
Yeah, because we checked it when you click it played. Yeah.
Let me try it first.
Yes.
I don't know, for some reason it stopped working. Yes, it worked before we started the webinar, but now I'm checking it without sharing screen, and unfortunately it doesn't work.
It's okay. It's okay. I think let's just show the story and let other people maybe for 1 or 2 minutes leave it on the screen that so that they can check their prediction to what extent they were right, or maybe they predicted they were able to predict something from the story. Donista, maybe you can share the story. Yes. Yeah. Okay, later after after we finish our presentation, I will try also to find the link where I did and also share it with EWB team, and they can share it with you. Yes, we can see it. You can read it and see. Okay, this is actually, we try to connect the story also with the name of our strategy. Therefore, the animals also decided to have their tea party, but this was a real party, yeah. And as you see, there was Tina, and we included some names so that the student could create more discussion. It's actually not the name of a person, but it's the name of a turtle, yes. And there were mostly animal names, and we did not include their, actually, yes, Oliver, but yes, we have Oliver is actually not a boy, it's an owl, yeah, as you see. And they had their party, and everything was really good, completed really nice, yeah. So as you see, when they make some prediction, in reality, when you take the text, yeah, there was some interesting or uh, some ideas that are completely different than from the story. Okay, thank you so much. This is what we planned, and this is what we wanted to share with you. You are now welcome to ask questions. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Malima, Mavluda, and Malima Donista, for your wonderful presentation. And please, dear all, you can unmute yourself and you can write your questions, and please don't feel shy. You can unmute yourself and write in the chat box your question. So for now, we have in the chat box a question. What strategies can teachers use to encourage student-led discussions? A way that ensures all voices are heard. So, shall I repeat the question?
Yes, we can see it. Yes.
Okay, good.
I can say something, and maybe Donista can also add as well.
Yeah.
In my case, yes, in order to have a student-led discussion, whenever, for example, I conduct my class, I am using sticks. I'm using sticks, and for example, even if I divide students into groups, or in order to make sure that all voices are heard, I'm using these sticks, and on the sticks I usually write on my computer beforehand. I write my students' names, and I just close it with a scotch, and I put it in a bowl next to me. And whenever the students, for example, start working, so that as a teacher I won't forget about someone in my class. I will try to every time pick, for example, one sticks with the name of a student, and just ask them to respond to a question. And just every time when I ask, see that I ask a student, I just put it aside and try to, for example, take next. For example, names, some next names, and that helps me like to engage everyone in my class, and that helps me just to hear everyone's voice in the classroom. And the second thing is, I think, in order to make sure that all voices are heard, in our cases, as we said, that there are students with various learning needs, we have to assign some specific task for everyone in our if it is, for example, reading, we can just give some task for the students. And for example, in my case, I can bring an example where I also, in the summer camp, I had a student with a special need in my class. And whenever I assign students in groups, and I assign that student something different, because when the other students worked in groups and I gave them flip charts, they were able just to talk to each other, decide something. But that child who he always preferred to do the activity himself, and I gave him separately, for example, a flip chart, and he started working or doing some activities himself and presented. So when I saw that he feels more comfortable like this, I just assigned a specific task for him, and he did it on his own, and he just enjoyed doing this kind of activity more. So as a teacher, I think we need to create this kind of condition, or just respond to our students' needs and help them just be part of our class. Thank you. Donista, maybe you can add.
Yes, I do support what Mavluda is saying, and I really love her strategy of using the sticks. They work really well, and because you never know who is going to answer the question, you pick them randomly. So, I also use these assigning roles within classroom, within group discussion, when I ask students who is going to be responsible for nominating the speakers every round, so that they are heard. And also, I believe that from teachers' perspective, it's vital to create a supportive and welcoming classroom culture, so that students work collaboratively, and then they themselves, in my classroom, in many cases, they themselves try to engage those students who are silent within classroom community as well. And the second question I see here is about flexible seating, and I would like to join. I would like to share my personal experience about it. I believe that it is indeed important for the students to feel comfortable while they are, in the classroom. And what I do sometimes, reading, for example, is quite boring for students. And in my class, I remember I pushed either all the tables back aside, and I put the chairs round, and I made it kind of circle, so that the students feel more relaxed, that they are not, in pressure, and they are just reading for pleasure, an article that I wanted them, to study, to learn, to focus whether on grammar, vocabulary, or what I planned that particular day. And when they are in a more relaxed, atmosphere, they gain kind of confidence, and they interact more. Or in other of my classes, I made my students to sit down on the floor, where we had the kind of carpet type, not the floor that is, cold, but where we had a carpet, and we sat, like we are sitting at home, and, reading and interacting, and talking things out. So I do believe that, yes, this flexible seating within the classroom communities does play its role. And it's also a great idea to change your classroom setting every class as well, because the same thing, the routine stuff, sometimes, it gets boring, and students already know, what's going to happen afterwards. So yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Malima. And we have another question here. Do you have experience of designing learning beyond walls, using outdoor spaces or virtual environments to teach English? And how do you think it is important?
As for me, not only for me, but I also know that Donista also has the same experience teaching outdoor. We have near to our school, we have a central park, and sometimes it is in the summertime, especially, it's really a great opportunity for us to take our kids outside and we study the activity in our central park. I think I believe it's important because. Students students mostly in their usual classes in schools they study at school, and sometimes when you take them outdoor they just feel very excited, they are very motivated and they are very engaged, even those students who are not sometimes willing to take part in the activities in class will be very engaged, very active outside. And for the last 2 years in our school, we have a kind of also activity included in our summer camp classes. It's excursion. We take students, for example, once we have a 1 month course, for example, with school children, and at the end of the course, we take them to, for example, School of Art and Science, so we take them to Spring or somewhere, for example, where they can feel and where they can, for example, see something with their own eyes, take part, play games, do some things that, for example, these children remember better and they become more engaged and more motivated. And I think it's really important to conduct these kind of activities so that the students will have a better understanding of something.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I would support Mavluda's ideas, and moreover, for me, it is a kind of tradition once a month to take my students out of classroom atmosphere, and not only with me, but also without me as well. I organize outdoor discussions, outdoor writings, outdoor interviews, outdoor play, drama play, outdoor puppet show, and all this kind of stuff, and it works really well. Moreover, sometimes just running for a vocabulary game is also very helpful, like vocabulary stuff game and all those things with balls and without balls and with jumping and hopping and all this stuff. It is really fun and engaging. Students love it.
Okay, I actually see here the next questions, which I think Bakhti Begim asked about creating atmosphere for disabled students. I think this is really important, and I believe not everywhere. We are trying as teachers, we are trying to create this kind of atmosphere, but really difficult conditions at schools, so that to just meet all the, we can say, all the requirements. But as I think, as Begim asked about, is it both teachers or parents' responsibility? I believe this depends on both on the teacher and on parents to create this kind of conditions for students. While I was doing my research, I went to one of the secondary school in Horog, and I interviewed 10 teachers, and because in our school we do not have, we have students, but for example, we have, let's say, we have students who are like studying in one classroom, someone who has, for example, poor vision, someone who has, who is dyslexic or some other problems, but not the majority students, students like with special needs, are trying to not attend other schools except their secondary school. So when I visited the school and interviewed teachers, they also shared ideas about difficulties that they faced in their schools. For example, there are students who came to the school with on a wheelchair, and it was actually the school was consisted of 2 story, and it was really a problem for a child in a wheelchair to go to the second floor. And I was really impressed by the how to say by the how to say by the support of the teachers who with their own how to say effort, and they collected money, and they built a path. They built just a path for a child to go from the first floor to the second, and they didn't ask the government to pay money or to help something, but the teacher and I think the parent of a child also assisted them so that the child can also participate and just to participate how to say in to go to school and to continue his education. And I think teachers tried or did their best, and but unfortunately, not all parents just take children to schools. Majority parents are very active when they are younger, but when they become older, they just stop attending schools. And parents are also have some kind of stereotype that they won't be able to continue further education. I understand that schools do not have also great conditions, but as parents we need also to just work. We need to do our best. We need to try to use those opportunities at least that the community have, and together with the teachers and parents, we can. There should be both collaboration between teachers and parents, so that the child can grow. The child can have some kind of opportunity in life, because there was a story that the teacher shared, that they had a child in their school and his classmates supported him a lot, and later when they graduated school, they took him together to Russia. And in Russia, he studied at university, and at the same time, his classmates supported him here in Russia, and he graduated from university. And I was really so happy to hear these kind of stories. And I think we should not be afraid, or we should not feel uncomfortable that a child has that kind of needs, but support his studies, support his education. Donista, if you have.
Well, I believe you provided all the answers. I think it's time to move on to the next question. Gulnora, would you like to read it?
Yeah, there are lots of questions, yes, bombarding in the chat box. So the next question is from Zarina Mirzo. She's asking what materials can be developed in low-resource classrooms, and how do you usually deal with bullying? So the next question is.
Yeah, bullying is very popular, but first I'll try to answer the first question. Well, back in the past, we had Teachers Association here in GBAO when things were fine. We got together with the teachers from simple schools, secondary schools, where they don't have any, opportunities, no OHP, no flip chart, no colored paper. They have nothing. They only have the board and the chalk. So what we were doing, we were trying to collaborate with them, and we were trying to think about activities that can be used only using just the board and the chalk and nothing else. So what we basically did, for example, we used the board a lot. We were writing things on the board. Let's say, for example, with conditionals, how to practice conditionals. We simply put the clouds, and inside the clouds we wrote some verbs, and then we asked the students to make up conditional sentences with them and then to move around. Or also we cut some papers and wrote things with pen on it, because I think in every part of Tajikistan, a paper and a pen and a chalk and a blackboard are available. So we're still living in Tajikistan, which is much better than Africa, where the conditions are even worse. And for me, I think you might have also seen this story that went viral in Facebook, where the teacher of computer teacher actually tried to teach his students in one villages in Africa Microsoft, and he drew a whole computer on the board for his students to understand what it is. And I believe if a teacher wants, they can develop lots of useful resources within classroom atmospheres, trying to use their own talents just with simple paper and pen. And the next one with bullying, this is a very we know that it is a challenging issue and it happens everywhere. So what I try to do within my classroom atmosphere, of course, here it is possible, I try to show the students things from a side. Like with my students at SPC, we watched a video on bullying, and that was a film. It is 1 hour film, and I believe the film, the name of the film was A Fat Boy Process, or A Fat Boy, something about Fat Boy, where they were bullying him a lot because of his weight. And my students were watching it from a side, and I, then of course I asked them some questions. We did lots of activities around that film, and they have learned lots of things. They saw how hard and how difficult it is from a side to see it. And also, I think another good option would be also to show the book Wonder, to show the film Wonder for your students. It is also very helpful and a good topic for trying to explain how bullying, influences those students who are being bullied. And then I also ask them to share their personal stories, how they felt when they have been bullied, and what happened to them, how emotionally it, influences people. Even if you don't have those resources and all that stuff, you can still, I think, talk about it, and talk it in the way that so that students do not take it personally, but they analyze it. And all this is all, I guess, matter of experience, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Malima. And the next question is, what activities can you recommend for students with physical disabilities?
Okay, so I think we need to use activities like we need to use activities like which we did today. It's a tea party, one of them, and I think we can just. There are lots of reading strategies like talkative detective, say something. I think to vary your activities, and also, as I've mentioned in my slide, using differentiation. Yeah, you can just, based on your student needs, you need to adapt it. You need to just you need to adapt the way that the students will be able, for example, to perform it. As we said, that if it is a student with struggling with the content, you can make it short, you can make it easier. And if you see it's a strong student, you can make it longer and more difficult. And as we said, also with dyslexic, so I would just use differentiation to fit it to the, for example, needs based on the needs of your student. In my case, for example, I had a student who had like poor vision. It's in my elementary class, and every time in order to help the child, and also she had problems also speaking. And she was, while speaking, she had something in her throat, and it also affected her vision. And every time when I had a class, I printed for her separately, and I made the size bigger. And also one thing that I did in the beginning, actually the students I felt very uncomfortable, but I think that also needs time. When we started working together with the students, we gave that student more time to just express your opinion, to share your opinion, and it helped her just to feel comfortable in this class. And I think again, it depends on your students, or based on your students' needs, you can use differentiation in your class.
Okay, thank you so much. And we have lots of questions here, but let's look at the question like, please recommend an effective, fast, and easy activity for student self-assessment during the lesson, or the activity for the formative assessment that you really like.
One activity that is really helpful for the students, quick self-assessment is that checklist that we keep using. We really love, using those checklists where students simply check what they have understood, what they haven't understood, and then do this, pair share, so to understand what it is. Formative assessment, we always have tests, but another activity that I also love, doing for my students self-assessment process, I always give them out of class projects. And for a formative assessment, I ask them themselves to determine the score. I say that, for example, guys, this project is 10% of your midterm exam. I will add 10% to it, or I will take 10% from it. And it motivates them a lot to do their best to get those 10%, so they try, they go out of class, they make those videotapes, they collaborate, they work, they meet after the lessons. And every time I tell them that I will add this score to your formative assessment, what they do every time, I change their partners as well, so that the classroom atmospheres, they have a chance to work with everyone, and they feel free while they are assessing themselves. Also, I show, in some cases, I of course ask their permission, and I show them their overall score by saying who is where, and then they when they see on the board whose trend is going up and whose trend is going, a little bit fluctuating or down, it motivates them to do their best, to go, to thrive for a better result. Of course, I implement it later when the students already know each other, when they're not shy, when they're not afraid, so that they're not demotivated when they see their fluctuated, results. But right at the beginning, this is how they do it. They have this self-check, their recordings, their projects, and this is how they do it within classroom. So maybe Mavluda
very
will have.
interesting. Yes, very interesting activities. Yeah, thank you so
I
much.
just want to show maybe one small activity that I use for a show, for example, in class, sometimes to check the assessment, this kind of cards. Can you see it?
Not actually, like it's.
Let me just make my screen 1 minute. Just can you see it now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you can use, for example, for true and false sentences. Sometimes I ask my students to, for example, I will give everyone, for example, a yellow color, and at the same time I give a green color. Yeah, cards. And I think I say that, for example, if you think that the answer is true, just raise green color, and if you think that it's false, you can raise the yellow color. And sometimes, because some students, they have some kind of habit that they ask other people, and they just wait for other people to answer. But when you ask everyone at the same time to raise the color, they will get very confused. But if you use this kind of activity very often in your class, and you will make it as a habit in your class, they know they are really smart, and they will just learn, and they know that, oh, the teacher will ask everyone to raise the color. And this kind of classroom culture, if you create, you will help also students to focus better on and listen, and just be engaged all the time.
And also A, B, C, also helpful gestures. I ask, this is for A, This is for B and this is for C. And then they kind of, look at each other. So gestures also help a lot. They say, if you think the answer is A, just show me, don't shout it out. So this is also really helpful. This is for A usually in my class, this is for B, and this is for C. So this is how we also check.
Yeah, very interesting. Yes, very interesting. Yeah, thank you so much, dear Mavluda and Malima Donista, for your wonderful presentation, wonderful discussion. Yeah, and unfortunately, the time allocated for this webinar is over, and I thank you from the EWB staff, and that you are always giving a chance to share, you always share your knowledge and your expertise with the other teachers around our country. This is really great, and thank you, dear all, for joining this wonderful webinar. And I hope we can collaborate for many other webinars like this, engaging and full of good and great tips for teaching. And thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for hosting us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, have a nice evening, dear all.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.